Well, Merry Christmas, everyone out there. Merry Christmas 2015. And I just wanted to share a few thoughts and say hello. I do that on a pretty much daily basis, but I don't know, special occasion. I got a lot of enjoyment over the years and still do out of the Christmas celebration, the Christmas day, the Christmas season. And I think that Christmas is probably special for many of us for different reasons. I'm going to share a couple of them that I think are important for me. And once again, this is Coffee Chat, just about sharing ideas on improving the quality of our life experience. If the Christmas season does improve your quality of life, well, then perhaps it's a decent idea to maybe to consider why it does. I think for me, one of the things that comes to mind is the whole Christmas story, the whole Jesus story to me is kind of a metaphor for newness, right? If you think about it, back in the history of Christmas, Christianity has basically co-opted or adopted an existing celebration, this equinox celebration, the shortest day of the year, which means that here comes the newness, right? Here comes the new year. And we feel it within ourselves. This shortly thereafter is the New Year's resolutions. We want to get things going again. The light has come back, and the Christian story, the light of the earth, this Jesus character who's going to bring life and everything back, restore life. This is very symbolic, even if you don't believe in the doctrines and so on. I'm not saying that I do. I like to look at things, old writings, for what they may have meant, and what they mean today in terms of metaphor or actual truths or whatever. But to me, it has a lot to do with, that darkest day, which also means the new light is coming, the new spring is coming. So that's number one. The next one I really like a lot about Christmas is that it's sort of it's a cause for reprieve, it's a cause for relaxation, to kick back. For example, here it is, Christmas Eve, and I just enjoyed a wonderful evening with my family. We lit a fire at the fireplace upstairs and just relaxed. Shared a few ideas, a few chats, and so on, and just watched the fire. It was very simple, but very precious in a way. Time to relax. The other thing too that I think is important is it's an opportunity to share with people that I don't get to talk to all the time. People who are special in my life in some way. And for example, I'm going to go visit a friend of mine probably in the next couple of days who I haven't visited in quite a while. But because of this tradition of Christmas relaxation, it'll be a bit of a visit, which I don't get to do very often, or I don't take the time to do very often. And I've already done this with another friend of mine. We went out, my wife and I, and sat down with him and his wife and had a coffee and just chatted. It was the first time we did that since, well, it wouldn't have been last Christmas because we weren't here last Christmas, but we basically did that once a year, you know. So it's a good opportunity to do that. But also I find that in these sort of settings, these relaxed settings, it's more likely that some sort of a conversation of value comes up. And I think it's important to share with people who we love something about our life. And just talking about superficial stuff like the weather and what was on the latest news channel is rather superficial. You know, how about telling somebody that we appreciate them as a friend? How precious is that? Hard to do in a way at first, but those are the sort of things that are soul food. And I think Christmas is a good opportunity to dine on a little bit more than just turkey, but the connections that we find in other people that we appreciate. And of course, we're going to switch on different aspects of ourselves when we visit different people. I certainly do, because people have different interests. It's my several years ago when I had a car business, I used to take the opportunity to go visit some of my most important, trusted, and valuable business colleagues. I call them colleagues because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have a business. I'd go visit the muffler guy, and I'd go visit the tire guy, and I'd go visit the transmission guy, and the welder guy, and so on. And I'd bring them a bottle of their favorite libation, favorite beverage, sit down with them and have a talk. I didn't talk necessarily philosophy to all of them. One guy was religious. I liked to talk the Old Testament to him. I thought it was interesting. He mostly told me about it, how there was end times coming, and there was the New Testament. He was big into Revelation too. I thought that was pretty interesting. So I had a great chat with him, and another guy, he was into old tractors, and he told me about how he had to hire a crane to lift an old farmall something across his house into his backyard because he had no back lane. Other things like that were interesting. And I think another guy used to live on the prairies, and he talked about shooting gophers. I mean, these are the sorts of things that I wouldn't talk about otherwise. But there's an enjoyment there, and I'll always remember those connections as being really precious. Not that I would want to go shoot gophers, never did it. But the fact that somebody actually told me about that, and something about his childhood and his upbringing, or about the paint job he did on his farmall tractor, and how the crane had to sling it up and lift it over his house. And I still remember thinking, wouldn't it have been something if that sling let go? And that farmall tractor went right through the middle of his house. Shows you how my mind works once in a while. But I mean, hey, it's sharing with people. And I think friendships are so important. And Christmas is a time to foster that, among other things. And the reason I think that friendship is so important, among other reasons, as you can imagine, I mean, we all, friendship is kind of like our lifeblood for those of us who are in any way social. I think with friendship, we can open up a little bit, and that makes the world a better place, when we can really open up and talk about what matters to us. And if people are true friends, and we find a few gems when we keep on connecting with people, we can open up, and you can sort of see what we're talking about, what's important to us. We see what's going wrong in the world and what could be helped by what we see. A true friend would go, gee, that's really interesting. I wonder what I could do about that. You make a good point. I'll have to look into that. And likewise for us, when they say something of value, to be listening there. Because if there's not friendship, there's rejection, usually, right? Or there's ulterior motive, which is not really friendship. It's like, what can I get off this guy? Friendship you've already got. You don't need to buy or sell off a friend, because you've already got the friendship, which is priceless and more valuable than anything can buy. So I think it's worth fostering, and it's a good thing to think about and consider Christmas. I know I sure as hell could do a lot more to connect with people. I don't send out Christmas cards anymore, as pathetic as that sounds. But maybe I should get back on that. Anyways, I just wanted to say Merry Christmas. I have a tendency to ramble off on some tangent. Here I went into a tangent about tractors falling through roofs. But it's been great chatting again. I really enjoyed the connections and the comments and the interaction and I've gotten a few comments on Facebook. The odd thing. I get 2 or 3 views at least, maybe, on some of these videos. Not much. But I get a lot of kick out of it and a lot of joy out of it. Because if one person watches it and starts talking about what they enjoy and sharing ideas and getting more active in making their lives a more quality-filled life. If that happens to one person and it was inspired by something I said, well, heck, way more than enough for my contribution in life, my mark on this world. So I want to say a deep and sincere Merry Christmas to everybody, and of course, a very prosperous and happy New Year to you and all your loved ones. Steve here again. Great chatting. Talk again soon. Bye for now.